I got to tell you, folks, the crowd hadn't got too much bigger, but it's gotten a little bit bigger. We've got to really get to work, folks. We got to get out here and get to work and get people's attention. So we're going to have to start using our telephones, email, social media, Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. And the next speaker, his organization is top notch for telling you how to be able to do that. Because these guys really get the word out and they're really involved. The John Locke Foundation, if you don't know about it, you need to go online, go to John Locke Foundation. I'll tell you what, I really appreciate all that they do. I appreciate our next speaker, Mr. Terry Stoops, for being here today. And I look forward to hearing his remarks. But like I say, it's up to us to get the job done. And we appreciate groups like the John Locke Foundation in helping us to get it done.
I'm Terry Stoops from the John Locke Foundation. I handle research and I also handle education policy for the organization. I'm going to keep my remarks short. That's an applause line. It's a privilege to be here because one of the most important education innovations is happening here in New Bern, and that's the North Carolina plan, an alternative to the Common Core standards. And if you think about it, it really typifies the genius of conservatism, because conservatives believe that citizens can come up with ideas and have a contribution to the culture, to the education of the nation, of the state. Whereas liberals believe that your only function is to write a check to the government and allow the bureaucrats in Raleigh or in Washington, D.C. to take care of you. Conservatives believe that we are human resources in the true sense of the word. We have talents and skills that contribute to our culture, to our society, and our only function is not just to write a check, but to come up with innovations like the North Carolina plan, an innovation that not in a million years they'd be able to come up with in Raleigh. Now, people ask me, how's Common Core going? And it seems like every day I hear a new story. And I was looking at presentations done at an expensive and unnecessary conference put on by the Department of Public Instruction. And there was a teacher that came and she did a presentation and she said, there's a problem in my classroom. I'm a fourth grade teacher and my students are coming to my classroom. They don't understand how numbers work and they don't know how to understand, they don't understand how to start solving a mathematical problem. Well, these are fourth graders that have spent their entire academic career with Common Core math. And here's a teacher admitting that her students know nothing about math. And you know what? That fourth grade teacher is going to continue to try to teach these kids about math, but unfortunately these kids are already 4 years behind. Now think about that for a second. They don't understand how numbers work, or what they call number sense. They don't understand how to solve a problem. Not only do they not understand how to solve a problem, they don't know how to start solving a problem. Folks, we can't delay any longer, or else we're going to have plenty of fourth graders, fifth graders, sixth graders who lack the very basic understanding of how to do math. And we're going to find ourselves doing basic math, covering basic math in high school rather than in elementary and middle school. The reason why I came today was to tell you to remember one number. That number is $51 billion. That is how much this state spends. Now, we heard $21 billion, and that's how much we get from our state government. But we get $30 billion from the federal government. We spend $51 billion in this state. And the question is, do we get our $51 billion worth? No! No, of course we don't. We spend $18 billion on health and human services. yet people aren't getting all that healthy. We spend about $12 billion on K-12 education. Of course, I just told you a story about how well that's going. We spend $5 billion on transportation. And driving here from Raleigh, I can tell you that money's not being spent very well. And herein lies the problem. A $51 billion expenditure, equivalent to the value of General Mills. Now think about this. General Mills, they produce Cheerios. And if people stopped eating Cheerios, do you think they would continue to produce Cheerios, thinking that someone will buy it? Of course they wouldn't. What if people started getting sick when they ate Cheerios? Do you think they would just continue to produce Cheerios? No. But we have a state government, aided by the federal money, that continues producing things that no one wants, or that, proverbially, people get sick on, or maybe sick of, in this case. But that would be requiring us to think about government as an efficient, business-like operation, and we know that's sins in the eyes of those who hold power in Raleigh and in Washington. And that's where accountability is so important, and that's why the John Locke Foundation, Americans for Prosperity, the Civitas Institute do everything we can to ensure that we keep our government accountable. We bring to light those things that the government is doing that we shouldn't, frankly, be paying for or we shouldn't be satisfied with. So anyway, thank you very much for the invitation. That'll conclude my remarks, and I believe I'm the last speaker. So I want to thank you very much for coming, and I thank you very much for everyone's support of Carolina Journal, the John Locke Foundation, and the other organizations represented here. Thank you.